my story today is called The Beast Who Couldn't Say Boo. He couldn't say it. Don't you think if you're a beast, you should be able to say boo? Let's see what happened. It was a warm October morning, and Boris, a beast of the forest, he woke up extra early. He was very excited because today was the first day of boo lessons, so he was prepared. Boo Day takes place each year on the same day that humans celebrate Halloween. On this day, beasts hide in pumpkin patches, and they jump out, and they say boo. But Boris had a surprise for his classmates. Today, they would learn that he was no ordinary beast, right? They would find out that Boris is the scariest beast alive. Do you think he's going to be scary?
Yeah.
I don't know. Boris hopped out of bed. He wrinkled his nose. He scrunched up his eyes, and he made a horrible face. Then he whirled around and faced the stuffed elephant that was sitting on his dresser. Boo! He shouted. The elephant stared back at Boris. His eyes widened with terror.
Can I see?
See his eyes? Do you think he scared him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's scared. I like.
So next, Boris approached the family cat, booing and stomping his feet. The cat immediately stopped licking her paws and ran into the closet to hide. The scariest beast alive was very proud. Suddenly, Boris's door opened and he walked in his mom. "I'm the scariest beast alive," Boris shouted. "Well, goodness," said his mom. "I must have the wrong room because I was hoping to give my son a special hug before he went to his lessons." Then she turned around to leave the room. The scariest beast alive unscrunched his eyes, unwrinkled his nose. "Mama," he cried, "it's just me, it's just Boris." So his mom was trying to give him a hug goodbye.
Boris in the forest was in the Bendy and the egg machine.
No. The scariest beast alive snuggled up against his mom. She opened her arms and gave him a big hug. Even beasts like hugs. At school, the classroom was filled with one more beastly face than the other. Suddenly, the scariest beast alive thought, maybe he wants to go back home. As he started to head out the door, a large, hairy hand clamped down on his shoulder. It was Mr. Rumpus, the boo teacher. "Take a seat, Beast," said Mr. Rumpus. "Class is about to begin." So he gets to school with all the other beasts for boo school, and he's starting to think, maybe I want to go home, I don't know. So Mr. Rumpus is his boo teacher. Boris watched as Mr. Rumpus slowly circled the room. He then pointed to the beast sitting right next to Boris. "Okay, Beast," said Mr. Rumpus, "stand up and boo." "Boo!" he shouted in a terrible voice. Mr. Rumpus smiled. "Well, that is not beastly," he exclaimed. "Now you," he commanded, "stand up and boo." This was the moment that Boris was waiting for, so he took a deep breath and he started to shout, but something went wrong. Instead of a big boo, all that came out was a puff of air. That was it. And it sounded like coo. Does that sound scary?
No.
This was his big moment. He was trying to be scary. Mr. Rumpus frowned. "Maybe you should try again."
Boo.
This time, Boris closed his eyes and tried to pretend that he was alone in his room. But all he could squeak out was a tiny hoo. Everyone in the class started laughing. "That will never do on Boo Day," said Mr. Rumpus. All week long, it was the same thing. Boris could coo and hoo and even woo. But whenever other people were around, the scariest beast alive was too nervous. Boris spent the night before Boo Day alone in his room. He didn't even bother to practice his scary faces. So Boo Day is a big day when he gets to scare everybody, but it's not going so well. He gets nervous when he sees all the people. You still have perfect surfer hair. Come on, Boris. It's time to head to the pumpkin patch. Boris's mom called. You don't want to miss Boo Day. Boris reluctantly walked out of his room, grabbed onto his mom's hand. As soon as they entered the pumpkin patch, Boris ran and hid behind the biggest pumpkin he could find. Since he knew I can't scare anybody, he didn't want to be seen at all. So he was hiding in the pumpkins. Soon a family of humans came by. They walked through the rows of pumpkins, not even noticing that there was a beast hiding behind each one. Boris held his breath. He tried not to make a sound. All of a sudden, the pumpkin started to shake. Oh no, the humans were going to pick up his pumpkin. Before Boris could run and hide somewhere else, a man, a woman, and a little girl were staring at him. What do you think he's going to do?
I can't see. Can I see? I can't.
If you sit on your spot, you can absolutely see.
I see.
So let's see what happens. What a cute little animal, said the woman. Boris could feel the other beast looking at him. He knew he was supposed to scare the humans, but instead he just kept holding his breath, hoping everyone would just go away. Can I keep it? Asked the little girl as she bent down to get a better look at Boris. She thinks he's a toy. She thinks he's a toy. She wants to keep him. He's just hoping that they go away. Boris couldn't hold his breath anymore. His cheeks were now completely filled with air. As the little girl reached her hand out to come towards Boris, he blew all the air out of his cheeks, and with that, out came the loudest boo anyone had ever heard. The girl screamed, and the humans ran away quickly. He had been holding his breath all that time, so when he finally let it out, he let out the loudest boo, and they ran away.
I'm going to do something.
When the humans were far away, the beasts came out from their hiding places and cheered for Boris. The beast who couldn't say boo really was the scariest beast alive. Hold on. Mr. Rumpus even presented Boris with a special ribbon for being Boo Day's hero. And the first thing that Boris the hero did was run to get a hug from his very proud mom. So he scared everybody, and he ended up being the hero. But his mom gave him the biggest boo hug of all. She was so proud of him.
What is that?
So he ended up being the scariest